So my Minecraft server has a bit of a fan issue. I have got a spare fan in there at the moment that I stole out of another old machine, but I have got a brand new fan coming, and we'll open that and have a look at it, and then later we will pull the old machine apart and put it back together, which is it's a tiny little Dell 9020, so very specialised little fan for it, so we'll have fun with that shortly. So, Cassie, are you going to help me open this up? And let's see what... Do you want to see what's in it? You won't be that excited. Let's see what's in the box. I can't open it with the opening thing. Let's cut some of this stuff off. Oh, okay. Cut off this stuff and have a look. See what's in the box. Hey? What's in the box? Hey? What is it? I don't think it'll be too exciting. Oh, what is it? What is it? Actually, it's something you love. This is one of your favourite things, isn't it? Wow, what is it? Can we get it open? Want to help? Want to help? What's that? It's got a little fan on it. Look. You love fans, don't you? Hey? Is that a fan? Oh yeah, it's a fan. Look at that. See, look. See, it spins. You do love fans, because that's your favourite thing here, isn't it? That fan? Do you like spinning that fan? Yeah, it turns. Yep. It's functional. So they're both working. Good show. Thank you for helping. Yeah. That's for a computer. Thanks, mate. Yeah, so yeah, I run the Minecraft servers. I don't have a screen on it. I just run it because it's when I got it, it actually had Windows Pro on it, so I just log on to it remotely. One day I'm going to put it on Linux, but it had Windows Pro on it at the time, and I just quickly put some Minecraft servers on it. Originally, just running them from a console. And it just because it was just a family, that was good enough. And then I eventually found this AMP. It used to be called, I forget what the software used to be called. I'll probably put it up here somewhere. And started using that, which makes it so much easier because I was running 4 of them. I run two Java and 2 Bedrock. So putting them all on there and starting them all up was a bit of a pain. So this just does automatically, and it's just the old Haswell i7, and it runs Minecraft really quite well. Usually it's only got up to 10 users, but usually only 2 or 3, and it runs quite well most of the time. Nobody's on there right now, so it's running really easy. And the only time it really gets loaded down, because it originally had an i5 and it didn't have any trouble, but since I put the i7 in there, even though it's like supposedly both 35 watt, it does use more power. It clocks a little bit higher and has hyper-threading, and it does run a bit warmer, and mostly it's when Java is restarting. So to go back to instances, just manage one of them. Does make it a lot easier. I was doing everything from the command line before. And if I go restart that one, usually restarting, it will really runs the CPU up pretty hard. It does not do that with Bedrock, but it is a Java thing that it does seem to run it flat out, and that's when the the fan does get a bit of few revs up, and it gets up to about 70 degrees. The original fan that was in there was making a horrible noise. I've got a backup fan that I pulled out of another machine, another old Dell. Not sure if you can hear that. You still can hear it wind up. It's going about 3,800. The other fan used to go up to about 5,000. So I'm interested to see if this one does, because the one that's in there is a different brand. So these are the Chinese ones I've got. Going back in there, it's up to 4,000 RPM. They're quite a high revving fan. So it really just runs flat out like that for a short period, then it all settles down. And once it's just running the game, it still gets up fairly warm, but it doesn't just run the machine flat out like that and stress the fan out. Anyway, we'll put a new fan in it anyway and see how the new fan goes. But like I say, it's a major brand that's in there. I'll have a look when it is when it comes out. The fan that's in there is the same as same brand as the people who make the motherboards for Dell. So I don't know where the actual fan's manufactured. It is a slightly different manufacturer. It's got finer fins on it than these, but it still fits in. It just doesn't have the mounts for the speaker. This one here, the one that's from the machine, has like a little speaker mount on it, and I'll swap the little speaker over, even though I don't really need the speaker, but I'll swap it over because it's there. So yeah, so that got up to about 68 degrees, and the fan went up to about 4,000. So we'll see what the new fan does when we get it in there. After a bit of digging down the back there, I managed to dig this out. So as you can see, it's a teeny little machine. But they work the same as any of the 9020 series of Dells. In some ways I prefer these because the big ones can take a video card, but the beauty about these is they're nice and compact, and they roughly, all of the models like this have proprietary motherboards and gear inside anyway, so they're not really expandable anyway. If you get a bigger box, so you might as well get the little tiny box. The only advantage of the slightly bigger ones is you can put a low profile video card in them, but of course for this job not needed, so this is fine. Has enough video power to run a monitor when you're setting up, and that's all you need. So also this one has Wi-Fi. I don't use the Wi-Fi, but I leave the antenna on it for some unknown reason. It's probably so I don't lose it. Video output has the good old VGA, which I actually use. Also has display ports. I never use them. For the little bit of setting up I do, I actually just stick it into the VGA port, and that works. 90% of the time it's just remotely accessed from either here or downstairs or wherever, so no problem. And of course the AMP software is just a web page, so for all the actual Minecraft updating these days, I don't even have to log into the computer like I used to. So we'll put her on the bench and do this really big job. This is a massive job. Yeah, no, it's not really. Super simple job. The simplest fan you're ever gonna change, and I think I've got another video where I've actually worked on this before, so let's have a go. So I'm back in my massive work area here. I really have to get something better set up here. I originally set this table up as a work area, and then as you can see, it got taken up with computer gear. So so this is the fan that was in it until recently, and actually this fan seems fine. I don't know, but it was extremely noisy there for a while, especially at high res, but it was still working fine. Maybe I'll give it a clean up and it may even be still usable. I don't know. I was concerned that it was noisy and it wasn't working, might not have been working real well, and I thought, well, I don't have a backup fan, so let's have a backup fan. Then I did find another backup fan which is in the machine at the moment, and we'll pull that out in a second, but we'll pull this, swap this speaker over. I don't know what the light's like there. Hopefully it's good enough. This camera's usually not too bad. So let's see, older fan. Here we've got our nice new fan. That looks like that just screws on very easily, I think. Like I say, we don't really need a speaker, but we'll put it on anyway. These might have some sort of rubber mounts on them by the looks, and I've destroyed one of them. Oh well. These look like self-tappers, so, or something. They don't want to go in, just moulded holes there by the looks or something. Oh yep, there's a little speaker there. The fan that's in there did not have these speaker mount holes, which is why the speaker is still sitting here. So it hasn't had a speaker in it for quite a while anyway. I ordered this one off Amazon, came from the US somewhere. There wasn't anything local in Australia, and usually, a lot of times the price doesn't make a lot of difference either way anyway, so. Okay. There's our new fan, more or less. So there's our fan ready to go in. And here is our gigantic Minecraft server. Pull the fan off, pull the antenna off. These things are very nice and easy to get apart. I'll just pull that. I do have a dongle on there. I've got a little Wi-Fi keyboard that I occasionally use, very rarely, just in setups or having to use the BIOS or something. This here comes apart nice and easily as per the other video, and yeah, there's not a lot in here. No, this one has a couple of hard drives in it. I have another video where I installed this is the original hard drive that I purchased this second hand, obviously. This is the original ancient SSD that came with it, and I did put the newer Western Digital green in there just because it was super cheap, and this was just a I did not spend a lot of money on this thing, clearly. That goes in there, and now the fan is they've got a nice easy setup to get the fan out. Just pops straight out. This is that's the Foxconn. I couldn't remember the brand, but yeah, Foxconn of course make a lot of these Dell boards and different gear. I don't know. It's a Foxconn brand, obviously. They don't necessarily manufacture it, but they get it done somewhere. So this is a very quiet fan, and it does seem to run a little bit slower, and it's got a much finer fan placement. So it'll be interesting to see. This is obviously going to be a noisier fan, I'd say. This is a very quiet fan, but that's okay. This is what obviously was in here. Well, I assume this was what was in here, or it may have been replaced at some other time. Unknown. So, what we've got here is a fan and a speaker. I do believe the black one is the fan and the other one's the speaker. Okay, fan is in. And you can go back to the other video to see the putting the heatsink on. That's fairly straightforward once you work out which way it goes. This got the, like I say, the i7. I'll probably put the where, maybe here. Might put the actual model number of the CPU in. Has plenty of RAM in this one. I think this one's got like 16 gig of RAM, which is heaps enough, but it means I can put a lot of RAM into the Minecraft servers and makes them run quite well, really. that in there. I'm a little bit paranoid about fans, whether they're spinning when I put them together. So often I'll switch a computer on and see if it spins. But this one I have got a fan monitoring software on there, and I will check when it's reinstalled to see if it's running. And that's about all there is to it. We have our fan in. We'll put it back together and I guess and see if it goes, which it no doubt will. Or I wouldn't be putting this video up, I dare say. I'd be saying, what's the point of that? Okay. Reinsert my dongle. I think it was in that one. I don't think it makes any difference. Actually, no, I think I'll put it here. And antenna back on. Wow, well that was complicated, and I'll keep both these fans. I might put this back in this other machine, although this machine's not going at the moment. This one needs the bias replaced, which is not something I'm really confident doing. It is because it's a surface mount chip, and probably will never happen, and so that one's probably never going to use, but it's good for spare parts occasionally. In fact, that's where the original i7 came out of this, the computer that this came out, which is a little, one of those little Dell Alienware, like a little steam boxes that came out a few years ago, back in 2015 or 16 or whenever that was. Okay, so we'll put them away and put it back together. So we have a connection, so it's going at least. It would be very sad if it wasn't. Check if our fan's running. We have a fan running, so that's looking good. Because I shut down the servers, I'm not sure if they're going to start up automatically or whether I'll have to do that separately, but we'll have a look in a second. For a while when the fan was playing up, I was running this without the boost, so it was only running at like 2 gigahertz, but I've got it back up running at 3.2 gigahertz at the moment, which makes it run a little bit warmer. So, looks like I have to start them up manually. I'll do a start up everything all at once. That'll max out the power usage, because that's what it's going to do when you normally when you normally reboot it. So the fan does take a while. It has a very strange fan algorithm in this thing. It does not seem to be purely temperature related. It seems to be a balance between temperature and CPU usage, and I don't know how it works it out, but it does its own thing. And we're running about power here. It says, I'm not sure what I've done that, it just says package power, so it's running 35 watts on the package power apparently. Effective clocks at 2.8 gigahertz, 3.2, oh no, 2.8 there as well. So with all the cores running like that, it's only running about 2.8. That's actually running slower than the last one, I think. And a slightly slower fan would not be a bad idea, because they do run very, very fast, these fans. And 3000 is fine. It seems to make no difference to the temperature, although this one's actually running cool, so that's interesting. We're only getting up to 64 degrees, which is very nice. I'm very happy. Nice new fan. I don't know what I paid for that. It wasn't a lot. I think it ended up costing me about $50 Australian with postage, but I would have to check that. So in the US, it worked out fairly cheap in the US. Oh, now we're going. Now we suddenly, all of a sudden, even though the temperature didn't rise much, we suddenly have a big boost from our fan. Can I hear it? Not really. I can't hear this fan hardly at all. We're running about 3.5, 3.3, 3.4. Yep, 3,500 rev. So it's 3,600 RPM. So at 67 degrees. So 337, and that's the end of it. So it peaked out. It peaked out at about 67 degrees. That's beautiful. That's actually running really nice. It's cooler. Well, it's probably not much cooler, but it is maybe the same temperature. No, it's pretty right. Was much quieter though, so that's good. I am happy, so that was well worth the $50. Now it settles down, goes down to 50 degrees. Doesn't run very cool ever. It probably goes down to 40 something. Haswell, I suppose, were fairly warm. I can't remember. I think they were fairly warm, even though even these low power ones did run fairly warm at idle, so that's fairly good. It is air conditioned in here. We live in a fairly hot tropics here, so if you can get it down to 25, it's lovely and cool inside compared to outside. So, and that's 25 Celsius. I have no idea what that is in Fahrenheit. I will try and convert sometimes. If I'm in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I'll use feet, but otherwise I'm pretty much always metric. According to this, it peaked out at 68 degrees. Okay, beautiful. And that is it. And yes, I can log into Minecraft, so all is well. She's running well. So that was a nice, easy job. If only all the jobs were that easy. Subscribing and liking means more fluff.